means you're talking. If it says unmute, it means you're not talking.
All right, and how do I change it? By touching there? Is that like a keypad?
Unmute.
That's kind of the opposite, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Earl, can you see me? I can't hear you if you can see me.
At the volume, turn the microphone on.
Huh? Press alternate A, Earl, if you can hear me. Okay, I don't know how to, can you hear me though, Chase?
Can you hear them?
I don't know how to fix my screen here then. I can't see you. I didn't know you were there. Chase, I don't see you. I don't hear you. Well, there's Earl Big now.
Huh?
They can all hear me, but they can't see me, and I can't hear them.
You can't hear them? Is it
You
loud
can
enough?
see me, Earl? You can hear me? Okay. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Volume up on that.
Where's the volume at? Quit, Earl. How do you turn the volume up, Wendy?
Your meeting hadn't started yet. has it?
No, we're just sitting there goofing off. See, there's my screen. See, Earl's come back.
They may have you muted.
No, he says he can hear me, but he can't see me. Don't do nothing funny, Earl. My wife's in front of the camera now. Quit talking. I can't hear you.
She's trying to fix it too.
Ed, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, Chase.
All right, I'm gonna go back on mute and let y'all figure this out.
Okay, all right, thank you.
How'd you hear him?
He was on mute. But now I can't see.
He turned, because he doesn't have his camera with his picture. He has it like that. He has a
My
back.
camera does not work. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay,
So I was trying to tell him.
okay. That's my wife talking to me. All I see in front of me is the planning board agenda. I had Earl, but now I no longer have Earl. Chase,
Did Willie leave already?
yeah. He was going to get a haircut. Chase, okay, Earl Chase, City of Palatka board member. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I don't have a video. But I don't hear Earl.
Whoever's the mediator there, whoever has the meeting, not the meeting, then they may have you muted or you can't
No, they can hear
hear
me.
them talk.
They can hear me, but they can't see me.
Is there a camera on that platform?
I thought there was. He said there was right there.
Everyone, please remember this meeting is being broadcast live on YouTube to the public.
Well, you went away. Now I can see Earl again, but I can't hear him.
I got Zoom on here. You don't give me your meeting number and use my phone.
You see me now? I can't hear you. No?
You're there, Ed.
Okay, all right.
Where is it? Mhm.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. What about now? Yes. Testing 1, 2, 3.
I hear you.
He says here, so for some reason.
So leave it. It's running opposite.
No, it's not. Ask out again.
I'm sorry. Ed, can you hear me? This is Dean.
I can. Can you hear me?
It's not backwards. Say yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you see me?
You don't need to be seen, you just need to be heard.
No, I don't hear you, but I see you. Look like Superman on top of the earth there.
What am I hitting? Just go there and hit that. What do you want me to hit?
My interconnection.
And are we good now?
Yes.
Can hear me. Okay. I will not unmute myself. I will just leave it. Thank you. Okay. All right. Hello, Earl.
Hey, I'm here. Can everybody see me?
We can't see you if this is Dawn.
I see your name.
Maybe you don't.
Where you going, Superman?
Let me disappear for just a second.
Ed.
Hey, I see you now, Don.
Okay, can you hear me? Because I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Do we have a quorum?
There's me, you, Earl, and Chase. There's only 4 on so far.
Shoot.
Bang.
I should be in there.
Oh, there's George. See you, George. Well, I see your name.
I just had it muted.
Okay. Can you see me, George?
I can. You don't see me?
No, I just
No.
see your name now. Oh, there you are.
Here he is.
Okay. All right.
This is my first Zoom meeting. Is that pretty pathetic or what?
Nah.
When you look-
I think it's everybody that's on there's first Zoom meeting, Don.
It's my first planning board Zoom meeting, but it's about my, since it started, probably my 400 or 500th Zoom meeting.
Oh, well, you're just an old veteran then, aren't you?
You're a pro.
Between FFA and Florida Cattlemen's Association and Broadcasters Association, all that good stuff. Everybody's Zooming now.
You keep fading into the temple behind you, though, George.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Let me see if I can fix that.
Yep. Oh, see your head.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
There's a great light on your forehead. Is God coming to get you or what?
Well, let me see if I can close this blind behind me. That should help it. Is that better?
No. It'd be on your right-hand side.
Okay, I can't see anything. It's probably these overhead lights we got going on, but this is,
I can see you. It's good enough.
I'm at a radio station.
It's good enough for government work.
Okay. I'm probably better off not seeing.
I feel that way sometimes too, George. Not about you, not myself.
Hey, Dean,
Yes,
can I ask you a quick question?
please.
Recently moved out of the city for living in, but I own a business in the city. I didn't know what my position on the planning board, if we needed to live in the city still, or if you needed so many people.
I will have to check that. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I will.
I do not live in the city.
I
I'm a
can
business
tell you
in
that.
the city.
George has the answer,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
Okay. You should, and it just has to be brought before the group. You own the business inside of the city, you should still be able to do that. Look into it a little bit further. If you had no connection to the city whatsoever, that would be a difference.
okay,
But I'll look into it. But for now, we're good to go.
okay.
That's what Don told me at one time, George.
Right. That's the way I understand it.
I'll check with I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, I just didn't want to mess anybody up.
No, you're doing well. We don't quite have a quorum yet. I don't think. We got George, Ed, Chase, Dawn.
Edie emailed on that email a while ago about wanting to know if we should have something printed
Oh,
out.
Edie's here.
Yeah.
She's muted. So we've got Edie.
Never mind.
And then
Can anybody hear Earl?
There he is.
Now, Earl. Good afternoon, Earl.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
You're
I
good.
can see you. I can see you, Earl.
Hey, there's Edie.
As long as you can see me, Don, that's okay.
I can see you. We can hear you and see you.
Lord. I heard you say it's your first Zoom meeting. I'm
Yeah.
down here at City Hall. I can't even get the computer working on. I don't have a video camera or anything on my computer.
Well, that's funny because we can be Zoom virgins together.
Yeah.
Well, I'm right there with you.
Oh,
Me
you've
too.
I
never,
don't want you, Ed.
Ed, you've never Zoomed?
Nope, I haven't never, well, no, I don't think I ever have.
I haven't Zoomed. I haven't never Zoomed.
You've never Zoomed? Oh, good.
it's zooming right in.
And I'm on my phone, so, okay.
Reno,
There we go.
Mr. Fells.
Now everybody's popping across the top of my screen, so that's,
I know, that's cool.
it's Dean's fault. They will blame it on Dean. He's just getting it off that year.
I'm staff. We're right in the middle of things. You can lean on us. You can blame us.
You
That's
just,
what we're here for.
you just
So
didn't
you're,
tell them.
Dean, you're in outer space then, right? You're in outer
Yeah, I
space.
am. I'm actually in City Hall, but sometimes it's confused for being someplace else. So here's
Okay.
where I am.
Edie, that's like Superman. I mean, when you stop and think about it,
Uh-huh.
Superman up there on top of the
Yep.
world zooming around.
Yeah.
Now
Um,
we can see you, Ed. Sit up. There you are.
Yeah, I just noticed that was my screen. I'm sorry.
Hey, George.
How we doing?
Good. You fixing to call it? Or you already did that?
It is 4:05. I'm ready. Do we have a quorum? We'll get it started.
Quorum, if we've got 5, we've got, just if I may, it's, I know by email, everybody knows that Bob Moody resigned last month. He relocated.
Right.
The public may not know that. So that announcement's formally going to the city commission soon. And be good to find another plan board member. Get us
Right.
up to 9. So.
I'm ready if you guys are.
Yes.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. If we have a roll call, please. We should have someone there with members of the planning board that can call for the roll call.
Hi, this is Sunny Krantz. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Awesome. I'll call roll. George Deloach,
here.
Case Barnes, Chase Barnes,
Here earlier.
He's here. He's got to type.
No, he asked me to call him after the meeting. I got a text that
Chase is
he's
here.
listening.
Thank you.
Chase, can you hear me?
Thank you. We can hear you now, Mr. Barnes. Thank you. Don Ross,
Here.
Earl Wallace,
Here.
Ed Killebrew,
Here.
Katie Wilson,
Here.
Jamila Theobald. Not present for the record. Reno Fells.
Here.
That is the board, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Okay, approval procedures and ex parte communications. Any person wishing to appeal any decision made by the planning board with respect to any matter considered as such, meeting will need a record of the procedures and for such purpose may need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceeding is made, which record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal to be based. Any questions? Okay, you should have read the minutes of the October 8, 2019 meeting, which is the last time in which we met. Do I have a motion for approval of minutes?
I'll go ahead and I'll motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor signify by a thumbs up in the screen, please. And we should be good to go. All right, public comments. Public comments is available by way of the YouTube live chat feature or by calling 386-329-0100 extension 0. For comments or questions, call-in speakers are limited to 3 minutes and no action taken on items. We are here for public hearing of case PB 20-2. Request to annex approximately 4.5 acres property into the city, amend the future land use map from Putnam County Industrial IN to City of Palatka Commercial COM, and rezone from Putnam County Industrial Heavy IH to City of Palatka C-1A Neighborhood Commercial District. Any board comments about this before we get started? All right, Mr. Mims, we'll turn it over to you for a presentation.
Happy to do so, Mr. Chair. And I'd like to welcome Mr. Joe Kmeyer of CRG. He's the agent for the applicant. So he's very—
Hello, everybody.
on this. Thank you for being here, Joe. So yes, a little bit on the background. This is an approximately 4.5 acre property. It's at 146 Comfort Road, northernmost part of the city. It's east of US 17, which is a 4-lane divided highway. It's a federal road, but it's state maintained. And northwest of the juncture of Comfort Road and Crystal Cove Drive over in the Crystal Cove area, it's right across to the east from what will be the Crystal Cove RV Resort. A PUD went before the plan board and was approved as an existing planned use district zoning overlay in place and recreational open space zoning, and its recreation land use. Crystal Cove Marina Complex is to its east. There's certainly a marina, there's a motel, and there's a restaurant that I understand is going to reopen in November. And there is a Crystal Cove residential, single-family residential neighborhood to its north. This is, other than those areas, it's a largely industrial land use to the north and to the west. The undeveloped CSX rail corridor, I learned from Mr. Larry Beaton that was actually a shipping yard in the past, and it's got really quite some history up above there. And a little bit on there's an industrial construction and fire protection for services facility, MGW Consolidated Milton, out by the intersection of 17 and Comfort Road. A little bit on the history. It goes back to 1997, and actually the property goes back, the larger property goes back to Florida Furniture Industries, since closed, but the executive offices were built in 1997, almost a 13,000 square foot building. Subsequently used by the Beck Automotive Group, And the property was recently purchased by Rural Healthcare Incorporated. And if I understand correctly, that's the parent company. Well, they plan to continue using it for administrative offices.
Dean, can I
And-
interrupt you for just a minute?
Yes,
Somebody's got their not muted or whatever, and they're overriding you and can't hear you very good.
Okay, so at this point, do I need to mute mine?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm imagining our Ms. Krantz can sort of do some muting there. I'll try to keep myself unmuted for now. Is that better? Can you hear me, Mr. Kilburn? Ed, was that Ed who was saying that? I didn't see. Can everybody hear me? A nod of the head, or okay, we're good.
We're good.
The reason they're in is that by annexing, they have full access to, they can connect to city water and sewer quite freely, and well, through the arrangements, but that is available to them, and it wasn't entirely available before. The other reason is that this is a non-conforming use. The executive offices, the office building, they cannot expand under the current county industrial land use, and particularly the industrial heavy zoning district. They cannot expand that use. So thus they're here. I think it's a good thing. I'm definitely recommending approval of what they're proposing here. And the request is to go to city commercial, certainly a bit of a less intense district than the industrial, and the zoning, that's really the least intense commercial district. It's a neighborhood commercial zoning district that they are requesting. There are benefits of that I see, and a synergy with the existing and proposed development to the east and certainly to the northeast. And it's not going to change in its face in the short term. Its office potentially, when you put a land use and zoning on there, you have to think really long term. So it makes a lot of sense. And certainly the office use is a legal conforming permitted use under that category. Let's take a look at it. The applicant, Mr. Kmeyer, provided this image to us. I found it very helpful. In the pink, if you will, the fuchsia, that's existing city boundary, and everything that looks more like a real life photograph, that's in the county. And the property is at the intersection, oddly, of Comfort Road and Comfort Road, where Crystal Cove Drive connects to Comfort Road. It ends, and Comfort Road snakes on around to the north. So that's where we are. Go on down. Well, annexation, this is addressed, that it pertains to Florida statutes 171.044. There's a contiguity test, and clearly this proposed property, does abut city borders on two sides. Roadways or right-of-way does not consider right-of-ways to interrupt contiguity. And also the statute provides definition for compactness. You can't create enclaves, increase enclaves, pockets, finger areas, et cetera. No question there. This is, spatial in terms of contiguity and compactness makes perfect sense. Future land use map amendment analysis. Policy, this is actually the future land use element 1.9.3. The land use district is for commercial is what's promoted here. Definitely, and that then will link to the C1A. And a little bit of comment on that. Developed with an office building, again, non-conforming. It will no longer be non-conforming. A non-conforming use is nothing you really want to have as a property owner. And this will make it legal and allow them to get city water and sewer, and allow them to do some expansion. And they have plans already. It's just several thousand square feet, as I mentioned. Their land use and is compatible with the surrounding future land use categories. This map here, it's you see the recreation land use to the east and commercial beyond that, industrial to the south. It's hard not to be compatible with industrial even in a non-residential area, but the commercial is a softer category, I would argue. So that's what's existing. And then proposed, in the yellow, you can see that this is the city commercial land use and C1A zoning. Analysis of the availability of facilities and services. They'll be provided as necessary. And I have an email from Public Works Director. There are plans to make the connections. Fire chief sent an email several months ago. It says its new location is further away. Well, I'm not sure what the meaning of that is. At longer response. This is at the northern edge of the service areas, but the city provides services already there to this general area. I see no issues there. Public facilities, there's a public facilities element policy that's pertinent to this, and particularly is that the areas served by Palatka Water and Sewer will be annexed into the city. When they're served, the distribution, there it is. That addresses this connection to water and sewer. Analysis of the suitability of the proposed use considering the character of the undeveloped land, soils, topography, natural resources, historic resources. Again, as I mentioned, it was developed in 1997, and I'll show you in a subsequent map that I'm pretty happy with. It's not within the 100-year floodplain. So although these are, the Pomona soil series are underlying this developed land, there was fill on top of them. These are deemed by the natural regulators, the water management district regulators. It is a relative upland. There is no wetland impact there. So there we go. A stormwater permit, there's a stormwater permit that goes back to 1985, modified a couple of times. And it's fine for right now for what's on there. And if you've been out there, you can see it is, this is historically a wet area, not a very well drained area. So there's drainage areas, retention areas along there. But the additional 3,000 square foot, if that's what they're going with, any additional development there would require modification of the stormwater permit. And so staff's not aware of any soil or topography conditions that would present major problems for additional future development here. Amount of land needed, this is really a de minimis, is determined by the local government. There's no change in the developed area here. So this, just a little addition to the city. Does not further, there's a sprawl test in the statutes. I won't go through each of these, but staff has looked at this, and this is really not an urban sprawl type application. If this were a high density residential development out there at that location, you might have a different conclusion. Interesting conversation, but clearly will not contribute. This is the map I'm particularly pleased with. I was sort of guided through this by the permitting engineer. It was fun making it. And the blue, other than the St. Johns River, it's like, well, that makes sense. That's blue. And the other blue to the west, that's obviously not the river. Those are areas that are within the 100-year floodplain. So all the brown, this land has all been altered. It is outside of the 100-year floodplain. So that's an important consideration. You can engineer your way almost out of anything, but you're out of the floodplain already. They're the 100 floodplain. Rezoning analysis, there are various tests, and this is, we go through this. Does it conform with the comprehensive plan? I mentioned in the comprehensive plan analysis that it's compatible with surrounding uses. The requested C1A zoning is what we're talking about here, neighborhood. And I'd say it's particularly compatible with the recreation and commercial uses to the east, future RV park, marina complex, and the neighborhood. That category can provide services that do not exist right there. It's not automotive type uses, but again, that's long-term. So you got to focus on what's there, but also what could be there. And that's what the zoning is. It's a logical addition, existing pattern. I say it's a logical addition to the existing pattern with a mix of industrial, recreational, commercial, and residential uses. Possible creation of an isolated district, unrelated. Well, it's the one C1A out there, but I say it makes a lot of sense. So I say it's compatible and complementary. Does not represent an isolated district unrelated to nearby uses. I see a synergy there. Population density pattern, increase or taxation of load on public facilities. I did a little research. I it took a little digging, but I found out who to speak with at the Florida Department of Transportation, District 2. That's their highway out there. They have an online level of service table. It's fairly straightforward to work with. And the level of service out there is very good. It's level of service B. It's only better at A. And the adopted level of service is C. And their projections are, you know, for the next 2 decades, it's going to be operating at level of service B. Whether or not there will ever be a signal warrant, a warrant to put in a signal at Comfort Road in 17, maybe a substantial development that can always be tested. That's the kind of thing you look at in development review. But my limited experience going out there on this table, no issues there. Also, the Comfort Road, which wraps around the property, that's county maintained, resurfaced within the last couple of years. So don't really see any issues there. And really, the applicant's really changing nothing in terms of what they're, even a 3,000 square foot addition to the zoning is quite minimal to the office. Whether the boundaries are logically drawn, this is logical, as I've already mentioned, and you could even have other annexation over time. It's a reasonable pattern. Changed or changing conditions make the passage of the amendment necessary, the rezoning. Well, as I mentioned, the owner wants to expand the building and connect to city water and sewer. Can't do it under the county rules right now. Adverse impacts upon living conditions in the neighborhood. The proposed rezoning will not adversely impact the conditions in the neighborhood, and I say can provide future use amenities. Increased traffic, absolutely de minimis or other impact on public safety. Drainage problem, as I mentioned, the underlying soil series is poorly drained, but this property comprises an upland site for which remediation has already taken place. Again, they'll have to revise the stormwater permit. Light and air, reduce light and air to adjacent areas. It's a developed property. It's 1 story. Let's move on from there. No issues. Positive impact on property, adverse impact on property values. I'd say if anything, it's a positive impact. It's welcome development out there. Deterrent to improvement or development of adjacent property in accordance with the existing regulations. Again, I do not see how this could possibly be a deterrent to anybody improving their property out there. And I think the RV park, they're planning, they've met with us, they intend to come in fairly, you know, they have plans to actually build out there to go, you know, they've got their approval. I think this all fits together well. Grant of a special privilege, there's nothing special about this. They're going through the regular process. It's not a special privilege to them. They meet going through the policy review on a land use change and a quasi-judicial for rezoning, substantial competent evidence. And the substantial reasons why the property cannot be used in accordance with existing zoning. Well, again, I've explained it's a legal non-conforming use. So there you've got it. If it burned down, they couldn't rebuild it, you know, past a certain percentage. Out of scale with the needs of the neighborhood. Not at all, and I say can support the neighborhood. Other sites not applicable for any change. That's okay. This is not a historic district. So to the motion, and I've written out the motion here. I would also welcome a statement that, particularly with the land use amendment and the rezoning, that it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. I believe I've made the case in the report, but that's wouldn't be a bad addition to the motions. Staff is asking you to make separate motions once you're ready to vote. And the recommended motions are simple. You could put it in your own words, but to recommend, in every case here, these are recommendations that go to the city commission from you. So we recommend to annex approve the annexation, amend the future land use map from Putnam Industrial to City of Palatka Commercial, and rezone from Putnam County Industrial Heavy IH to City of Palatka C1A Neighborhood Commercial. That's enough of a presentation for me right now, and I'm definitely here if you have any questions about anything I've presented, anything in the report, And Joe Kaimeyer is here as well. I don't believe he's planning to make a presentation, but he's definitely here for questions, and I'm very happy he's here. He did a good job putting together the package, application package.
Okay, may I make a comment real quick for clarification on my behalf? You brought up Florida Department of Transportation, and you haven't brought that up. I need to make this comment for clarification. My son-in-law is an employee of Florida Department of Transportation. He is the person that signs off on all the permits for Putnam, St. Johns, and Clay County. I have not discussed this with him in any way, shape, or form. It is not coming up any way, shape, or form. Just as a matter of clarification, he nor I have discussed this in any way, shape, or form. And since you brought it for Department of Transportation, I'm just making this comment for matters of clarification, period.
Excellent. Excellent. That's very welcome. And yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So noted.
All right. So we have the staff recommendations here. Do we have, I cannot make a motion. So do we have anyone who would like to make that motion?
Can I ask a question? Or do we have to make a motion first?
No, you can.
It's time to ask questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where the city of Palatka, where it's Putnam County Industrial, and we're being asked, or they're asking to change it to the city of Palatka Commercial. The other properties surrounding that in the county or in the city, say this Riverwatch Phase 1, say they want to change that to commercial. Would changing this out of from county to city, would that affect any surrounding county or city properties for their future change in land use
That's a question to
in
staff.
a negative way?
First of all, where is, you call River Walk? Where is this property?
The River Watch Phase
River
1
Watch.
in Crystal Cove. It's located in the city. It's a future residential development that probably won't go anywhere, but if it did,
How far away is it from?
it's
Is
on
it
Crystal
shown?
Cove Drive. It's on your pink map.
So I see Crystal Cove Drive up there. That's an existing development, right? Maybe not entirely built out, or you.
Before the,
Dean,
before
it's the property right in the middle of the sheet where it says Riverwatch Phase 1, where you see
I
the,
see. There's,
Right.
oh, that's very, thank
that
you.
is not, that's not developed.
Let me, if I can give you
Isn't that the
a real
campground?
simple answer to that. That is actually part of the approved PUD. That's de facto not relevant at this point. The PUD, they may have to adjust the plat. Maybe somebody knows more about this, but there is a planned use district zoning overlay that has been approved for that entire property.
Isn't that the camping area that we were talking about?
I'm sorry?
Isn't that the camping,
RV, the RV park?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, that entire property from going up Crystal Cove Drive,
Okay.
that it's a larger trapezoid. It's not just where you see the rec slash. That's for the whole property.
Okay.
So that's just, that's what that's what the property appraiser map shows. And often that is out of date. And in fact, I had to superimpose the correct land use and zoning. They were out of date. I definitely checked this, what's approved by the city. The land use and the zoning are in full force and effect. So we'll, that's a great question, and thank you. And now I know exactly what you're talking about now. Thank you. But yeah, I'd say no, it's moot. It's
Making this, annexing this into the city is not a problem, but changing it from industrial to commercial, there's a lot of industrial out there that's going to continue to stay industrial.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Mhm.
So that's not going to be an issue
Well,
with any of those properties, or
That's my conclusion, but if you have, you may have a different opinion on that.
no, I just
Um,
wanted your opinion on it.
My opinion is that this is a very positive change. Yeah, in fact, I could see, the uses allowed by commercial and C1A as being supportive of, you can do more with this in the sense that, you can serve people's needs out there. But Joe may want to comment in terms of what the immediate plan, what the immediate and maybe long-term plans are.
oh, yeah. Hello, Don. This is Joe. I just wanted to, the property as it sits right now, when it was originally developed, that was the headquarters for the industrial. And since the property was zoned industrial, that building was allowed to be built as the administration headquarters for the industrial complex. When Florida Furniture went out of business, and this is all to my understanding, when Florida Furniture went out of business and they sold all their properties, this, I think, was subdivided out and was still, although it was still zoned industrial, it was a commercial building sitting on the property that was basically for a business administration kind of services. And its current zoning, it would have to be an industrial, it would have to be, industrial, any kind of additions or any use. And we're trying to change the land use to accommodate the building that's already existing on the property. I don't see how it would be very detrimental to the surrounding property owners, and it would also not have any implications to the industrial to the north and to the west of the property as well.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll.
No, are you wondering if changing it to in commercial will, let's see, what reduce
they're never
the future
gonna,
development for?
No. Yes, I was wondering if it was any future development for the surrounding properties, because, the RV park would be great to still come in, and changing this to commercial, I didn't want to jinx or mess, I didn't want to screw anybody's path of development up. I'd like to see this development. I'd like to see another 3,000 square foot added onto that building and more employees hired on.
And I would say that changing the property to commercial in this area would be a benefit to make the people that would be moving into that area think that, hey, this is a good place to go, because I'm not necessarily going to have a big industrial plant next to me anytime in the future. In fact, if the commercial was to even move further north from ours and one day change over to commercial, it would just solidify that area, that no, there would be no big industrial development coming down. It would help the residents in Crystal Cove and in that river match phase 1. They are surrounded on two sides of it right now by commercial and light industrial, from what I interpreted.
Moving the RV park in there is going to make that's a commercial establishment anyway, as far as that goes. But I don't see where. I think Azalea Health is definitely a positive and a plus for that area and for what they plan on doing. If you've seen any of the Azalea Health buildings and where they are and what they do, I think they're an asset to the community without a doubt.
If I may jump in just briefly, the property owner of the future RV park was very encouraged when I told him of this land use change in zoning. He thought that was a nice idea. So good idea.
Any further comment? Do we have a motion?
I'm sorry, I got kicked out a minute ago. I'm just got back in. I heard you say, do we have a motion?
Yes.
All right, do we have to make the motion in two parts, one for the future land use and one for the zoning?
Yes.
All right, what are we going first on?
Yeah.
If I could jump in, Mr. Chair? Yeah,
Yes.
I would like to see three motions. I think the logical thing is to start with the annexation
Okay.
as the first motion, and then proceed with the land use and the zoning. Three separate motions, I think, is probably the best way to do this, because it will be three separate ordinances that go to the city commission, assuming you vote to approve these.
Okay.
Give you
All
three.
right.
All right, my first motion is that we annex this into the city under, with staff's recommendations.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by a thumbs up to the screen, of which Ms. Krantz can take a count.
Excuse me, but Chase Barnes and Reno Fells cannot provide thumbs up because they are not showing their video. I would need a verbal yes from Mr. Barnes and Mr. Fells.
Yes,
Okay.
from Reno. My screen is cracked, so you I can't see me. But anyway, yes, from Reno.
Okay.
Verbal approval from Chase.
Thank you. Next
I
motion.
apologize. For the record, was that a yes from an aye from Mr. Barnes?
Correct. Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just a reminder, I would like to suggest that the next two motions, assuming they're moved to approve, is that they also say, find them consistent with the comprehensive plan, with the Palatka comprehensive plan as well. That's just always a good thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we've had a motion. Do we have any dissenting votes? Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next motion. Mr. Wallace?
It's for the comp plan, correct?
Correct.
And what was it you said, Dean? You want to hear?
Yes, and you could do it as a clause, say, recommend an amendment of the future land use map from industrial, Putnam County industrial to City Palatka commercial, and find the proposed amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan, with the Palatka comprehensive plan.
All right. I would like to move that we change the comprehensive plan to, I'm gonna say meet staff's recommendations and let Dean sort that out. Is that all right?
I'd rather the board vote on a very particular motion
All
and
right,
just to state what
Earl,
it
you want me
is.
to make a motion?
Yeah, make it, Don.
I make a
agree.
motion to amend the future land use map from Putnam County industrial to City of Palatka commercial.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And since we have those that cannot do by video, if Ms. Krantz, if you would make a roll call for vote, verbal,
Thank you,
please.
sir. I appreciate it. George Deloach,
Aye. Well, I can't do an aye because I don't, we're good. Carry on next.
Earl Wallace,
Aye.
Ed Killeberg,
Aye.
Edie Wilson,
Aye.
Don Ross.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chase Barnes, I'm sorry,
Aye.
and Reno Fells.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Motion.
Chair, if I
All
may,
right.
if I would like to ask on the next motion in particular, that when the rezoning, they also, if the motion is to recommend approval, as I presume it will be, just also in a clause say, and, rezoning from and find that it is consistent with the City of Palatka comprehensive plan. That's just it's a good standard.
I'm having a heck of a time hearing Dean. You want
Can
to
you hear me, Earl?
Don, if it's for approval?
Yeah, the simple motion is, that I would suggest is to, recommend approval, approve the proposed rezoning from Putnam County Industrial Heavy IH to City of Palatka C1A Neighborhood Commercial District, and and find that it is consistent with the comprehensive plan. It's just it's a legal standard. I would make it in the staff presentation, the city commission, but it's a good thing to put in the motion. I probably should have put it in when I wrote it. If you want to do it, do it. It's in the staff report, backs up the consistency with the comprehensive plan. If you find it that's a little bit cumbersome, you don't have to. I'll make sure that that's clear to the city commission and the staff recommendation.
Is that adding to my motion, or are we moving on to the
We've
third
moved on
motion?
from your motion.
Okay,
Well, the board has. I would just say for the rezoning, that might be a particularly good little addition there. Just rezone from recommend approval and find that it is consistent, that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan.
okay. I make a motion to rezone Putnam County Industrial to City of Palatka C1 Neighborhood Commercial District. That it is in line with the comprehensive plan.
Fine, yeah, and find and find that it is compatible with the comprehensive plan.
And find that it is compatible with the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
Thank
We have
you.
a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Edie will
Consistent, I
second
think
it.
was the word. If you could, I heard two different words. Consistent with the comprehensive plan is the correct legal term. If that's okay, if that's understood. You're
Yes.
finding that it is consistent.
We find that it is consistent with comprehensive plan.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And that is seconded by Mr. Wallace. All in favor, signify by saying roll call aye. Ms. Grants, if you'll do that.
Thank you. Earl Wallace,
Aye.
Ed Killebrew,
Aye.
Edie Wilson,
Aye.
George Deloach,
Aye.
Don Rawls,
Aye.
Chase Barnes,
Aye.
Reno Fells.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we have unanimous ayes. And any other business needs to come before the planning board at this time?
Mr. Chair, if I may, just a comment. I think there's a likelihood of there's going to be a request from city staff, city management for a especially noticed meeting in October. We don't have a date. It's just a conversation that came up today. We are aware of a number of pre-annexation agreements. There's an interest in certain properties connecting to the city water and sewer. And there won't be enough time to get this together for the regular first Thursday in October, which I believe is October 6th. So, and particularly considering that the next regular plan board meeting would be a National Elections Day. If I've got that right. Yeah, this is a specially called meeting, so I've got to rethink this. Y'all are the first Tuesday of every month. So the first Tuesday of November would be November 3rd, Elections Day. So I don't know if you even want to contemplate having a meeting on that day. That's maybe a discussion you all want to have. But staff was thinking that maybe that wouldn't be the best idea. And there's an interest in putting some at least proposed annexations before you all, and possibly at a special notice meeting in October.
Okay, for the way November 3rd is out for me because of elections, I'm covering. I cover the elections for the radio station, and I'm covering for 4 different stations. So that November 3rd would totally be out. So I have no problem with having a specially called meeting.
And you may want to query your other board members and find out how that sits.
Because depending on the date that happens, if we can all agree that anyone have a problem with that, having another special call meeting as we have had today.
I don't have no
I don't have a problem.
Everyone else okay with it?
I'm good.
Okay,
Query before we'd set a date.
okay.
And the date, the chair, Mr. Chair Deloach and I, by code, can do it. The two of us can do it. But we're not going to push anybody around. We definitely want to find out if people can make a certain date. So
Okay.
before we set it.
All right. I'm good
Thank
with
you.
that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Any other business to come before the planning board?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Before we adjourn, very quickly, I appreciate everybody doing this and making it happen like this. We're in a new age, new time, and hopefully there'll be a day pretty soon that we won't have to meet like this. But thank you, everyone, for going out of your way to attend and being a part of this. Now you make your motion. We're good to go.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adios.
We're
Thank you all very
adjourned.
much.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye.